present to you some helpful tips to determine the right grind size for various coffee brewing methods. The grind size is one of the most important factors that determines the overall taste of your coffee. If you have great quality coffee and a good brewing method, you can still end up with bad tasting coffee if the grind size isn't right. It can end up tasting too sour or too bitter, too watery, or too strong. This means that you should also invest in a good quality grinder, where you can determine how fine or how coarse the beans are. To be honest, I think that the grinder is a more important investment than the coffee brewing method itself. If you have a very expensive espresso machine, but a cheap grinder, you're not going to end up with good quality espresso. You should be able to determine if the coffee is extra fine, fine, medium coarse, or coarse, of course with many levels in between. So, to start with, extra fine coffee grounds are used, for example, with the Chemex Turkish coffee maker. By extra fine, I mean that this is really, really powdery. It's similar to powdered sugar. This is about as fine as it gets, so you should put it on the level as fine as your coffee grinder goes. With espresso, it also is very fine. I think it's easier to know if the grind level is right because an espresso shot should take about 25 seconds. So if it's less than 25 seconds, it's too coarse. If it's more, it's too fine. So you should be able to tweak that to get the right level. For things like the mocha pot and the Aeropress, you need medium fine. This is not quite as fine as espresso. It's kind of like sand. It shouldn't be quite so powdery. The Chemex brewing method is coarser. I think a good way of thinking about this is like table salt. So a little bit coarser than sand. You should be able to really see the pieces. It's not powdery at all anymore. And then of course, the most coarse is the French press. This is almost like sea salt. I think that's a little too coarse, but really you should be able to feel the pieces, the hard pieces between your fingers. So that's all for today. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for upcoming videos that talk about these brewing methods in more detail. Also be sure to check out our Instagram, where we have lots of nice, pretty coffee photos and videos. Thanks!